Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Forrest and today we are diving into my jungle tier list predictions for patch 15.3. Let's jump right in. First off, can we talk about these new patch names? Like I mentioned in my last video, I'm not a fan, so for simplicity's sake, we are sticking with patch 15.3 here. Now from a jungle perspective, this patch brings some solid changes. Red continues to buff a few champions just like in the previous patch, so if you missed that breakdown, be sure to check it out. Voud Champions. One name you will want to keep an eye on is Blue Kayn, who is getting yet another buff. And then there's Evelynn, who is receiving an extra buff to her E. These tweaks might seem minor on their own, but when buffs stack up across multiple patches, they start to make a real impact. If you are looking for potential solo queue climbers, keep these two on your radar. Nerfed Champions. On the other hand, Wukong, Viego and Skarner are finally getting hit with some well-deserved nerfs. In my last video, I was honestly surprised that I hadn't touched them yet. But here we are. These changes go live this Thursday, and while they will tone these champs down, don't expect them to disappear overnight. The biggest nerf lands on Viego, who is losing free base damage. Now that might not sound like much, but for a jungler it adds up, affecting both his clear speed and overall damage. It's a solid nerf, but nothing too extreme. I wouldn't be shocked if Riot revisits him for another adjustment later. So with all these changes, which junglers do you think will rise to the top in patch 15.3? Drop your predictions in the comments and let's talk about it. Before we dive into the tier list, let's talk about the system changes, because these will impact the jungle as a whole. The game is feeling more and more objective focused, and since we didn't get a preseason this year, it's not a surprise that adjustments are taking time. Riot is essentially testing changes live, meaning if something turns out to be a bad move, we are stuck with it for at least 2 weeks, unless it's completely game breaking and gets an emergency nerf. Now after 15 years, Riot has finally tweaked attack speed mechanics, slightly increasing the cap. While this change seems fine overall, keep an eye on champions who love stacking attack speed. This could shake up AD carries and certain junglers as well. Rune and Chemtech Soul buff. Chemtech Soul received a slight buff. Electrocute, Dark Harvest and Hit Blades got stronger. Electrocute will now hit harder both early and late game, making assassins more relevant. Dark Harvest deals even more damage now, which is a buff for Graves and for some AP jungler. Halo Blades is looking even better for champs like Crit Viego, Master Yi and Briar. Expect them to benefit a lot from these changes. Riot is clearly trying to bring more burst damage back into the game, so we will have to see how that affects the jungle meta. Voud Grubs and Atakhan nerfs. The last major change before we get into the tier list is the nerf to Voud Grubs and Voracious Atakhan. I'm happy to see these adjustments, but let's be real, jungle is all about securing objectives this season. That said, I love the Feaths of Strenght changes from patch 15.2, and with all these tweaks coming, we are slowly but surely heading toward a healthier meta. I won't go too deep into every detail here, but if you want a full breakdown of this patch, let me know in the comments. I can make a dedicated video for it. For now, let's shift our focus to the tier list. With the meta revolving around objectives, we will be looking at junglers who can farm efficiently and fight effectively to secure those big moments. At the top of the list, we have got a strong lineup: Nocturne, Wukong, Amumu, Hecarim, Warwick, Skarner, Udyr, Volibear and Viego. These champions all share a common strength: quick jungle clears and the ability to obliterate objectives. This playstyle is absolutely dominant this season, making them the go-to picks for climbing. On the flip side, the niche junglers who can't keep up or those who focus too heavily on ganking without securing objectives simply can't compete with these powerhouse picks in the S tier. If you want to dominate the jungle this season, these are the champions you will want to prioritize. I have said this so many times this season, but I will say it again. There are just too many objectives on the map. We have got Voud Grubs, Dragons, Rift Herald, Atakhan and of course Baron. That's a lot to juggle, and as a jungler, tempo is everything. If you haven't already, go watch my last video where I break down common mistakes made by low junglers and compare them to how a challenger pro like Yankees plays the game. I highly recommend checking it out, whether you're Iron or Diamond. I covered 4 different ranks across 4 games, so there's something to learn no matter your level. Feats of Strenght, overrated or actually good? I will be honest, I didn't think Feats of Strenght was that great at first, but after the recent changes, I have come to appreciate it. Now it feels like a solid addition to the game without putting too much pressure on junglers to force first blood every match. That said, it's still a nice option to have, especially when you're close to full build. The extra stats from upgraded boots can make all the difference in those crucial late game fights. Some boots still feel underwhelming, but I'm sure Riot will balance them out over time. What do you guys think? Do you like Feaths of Strenght or do you still think it's overrated? Let me know in the comments. Let's look at the tier list again. The A tier has some solid options with picks like Xin Shyvana, Briar and Diana all holding their ground. Of course, I haven't listed all and you can see on the tier list the rest of the champions in A tier. As long as you're playing someone from the A tier and above, I'm sure you will climb this patch. So here is my tier list and my top recommendations for those of you between Gold and Diamond. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten about my fellow junglers below Gold. If you are new to the jungle or just looking for a solid main this season, here are some of the best champions for you to try in Season 15. If you are looking for a reliable, powerful junglers to climb with, Warwick and Nocturne should be at the top of your list, especially after the attack speed buff. Warwick was already a consistent low powerhouse, but with the attack speed cap increase, he is even better. His passive healing is insane and the extra attack speed means even more healing, meaning he can sustain longer fights, shred through champs even faster and dominate 1v1 skirmishes. Combine that with his already insane dwelling potential, and Warwick is one of the easiest yet most effective picks for climbing. Nocturne has always thrived with a fast, efficient clear, but with the attack speed buff he is even smoother to play. His passive resets faster with attack speed, allowing him to deal massive damage. His really fast clear means he can hit level 6 faster than most junglers, unlock paranoia and start snowballing the game with non-stop ganks. If you want an easy to learn jungler with high carry potential, Nocturne is one of the best choices right now. Briar is already a strong pick, but the Halo Blaze buff could push her even higher. While her dominant rune choice remains let a tempo press the attack, the extra burst from Halo Blades could make her early fight even deadlier. Plus the attack speed buff helps her snowball harder, making her an even bigger threat in lower ranks. If you're climbing in low ranks, Warwick, Nocturne and Briar should be your go-to champions this patch. With these attack speed buffs, they are stronger than ever, so take advantage of it. Now that you picked the best champion for your liking and want to learn how to climb with them, join my Discord for free and paid coaching as well. My last student reached gold in just a month, starting from Iron 3, but after I taught him the fundamentals of how to be an effective jungler who can solo carry, he climbed with ease. So what are you waiting for? I talk about all of these things in my videos and I'm always happy to answer your questions. Join my Discord server if you want to dive deeper. I'm continuing my free jungle coaching sessions for new members this year, and for those interested, paid coaching is also available like last year. If you have got questions, drop them in the comments. And for those of you who watch my other tier list videos, let me know if you like this style more than the old one. Thank you so much for watching. A like or comment goes a long way in supporting the channel, so I really appreciate it. I've got tons of video ideas for this year, so stay tuned and I see you in the next video.